Hello, my name is Earl Parson. Grown up in a little town by the name of Lane, South Carolina. Come up on the farm of a sharecropper. Grew up in a humble beginning, didn't have a whole lot. But we learned to live as family and get along. Mother and father taught us to get along and to love one another. He created in all us to be hard workers. When Daddy would get up in the morning, 5 o'clock, everyone had to get up. They had different choices to do. And it taught us to be responsible. My mom died when I was about 4 years old, and I grew up then up to be about 7 years old, lived in South Carolina. Then moved to the city in 1967, where I started off again in 3rd grade and went to the Lee County schools for education, and didn't have a whole lot of plenty, but we learned to survive by the grace of God. And continuing on, and from a young age, we was always taught to trust in the Lord and go to church. We went when we didn't want to go because that's what the parents did. We had no say-so. We didn't backtalk. We just did what they told us to do. Even when they were wrong, they were still right. So we learned that respect will take you places where money or anything else won't. So through it all, we all ended up down here in Fort Myers, Florida, from the farms, and then God blessed us to be able to, with the little education that was applied from that time, through the wisdom and knowledge of God and common sense, we were able to establish a business in the construction field. The brothers began to work together and build houses, and they taught me as a little fella, took me on the jobs on Saturday when I wasn't working in school, and created hardship in me that I can, as I grew up, knew that the responsibility of the head of the house were the man, and to be a man to take care of families. And in 1971, I received my salvation notice that God had a purpose for my life. I ran for 7 years after that, and at the age of 38 years old, I recognized God had a calling for my life. I began to get back with the church and striving to be obedient to the Lord, sometime falling, sometime up, sometime down, but through it all, by the grace of God, He would never leave me alone. And in 2001, as I kept hearing the voice of God calling on my life for a higher calling, God called me into the ministry in 2001. June 1st, 2001, I preached my first public sermon after running for about 7 years under the leadership of Pastor Thomas Brown. And ever since that time, I've been kind of like scribing in the ways of the Lord, not perfect yet, but still yet through the grace of God, and still scribing to be Sunday school teacher, and also now have been called to be the assistant pastor of a great church by the name of St. Mary Missionary Baptist Church, now under the leadership of Pastor Tommy Brown, which is the son of Pastor Thomas Brown. And the congregation had grown tremendously. We have our bumps in the road, but through it all, God still has His hands on us. And thank you for this interview, and knowing that one of these days, whatever God has for us, we will be able to reach and accomplish our goal with the help of the Lord.